y'all. Welcome back to Chatting with Coach Amy. Today I'm here with Polly. Yay! I'm so excited you're here. We had a impromptu lunch at the THM Cafe last week. So
Yes, we
fun.
did.
And now we're here recording a podcast, so it's kind of cool. Introduce yourself, Polly.
Hey, my name's Polly West. I'm from Kentucky. I'm a mama of three and married to my husband for the last 15 years.
Mm, yeah. And what do you do?
I've been a nurse for 26 years, but I'm in leadership now. I'm an operator, director of operations.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
So
kind
you
of
keep
like
everybody straight?
trying to keep everybody. The place I
Mhm.
work for is kind of like the Mayo Clinic of Kentucky. I won't say the name of the organization, but yeah, that's where I work.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have a big old office, huh?
I do, yeah. Got some
Dang,
pictures on
girl.
the wall back there.
I love it. I love it. That's so fun. So fun. Well,
Yeah.
tell us your Trim Healthy story. You shared it a little with me last week, but I think it's awesome. And like I can't wait for them to see y'all's pictures because wow.
Well, my story is a little, I mean, I've been preparing for this, like thinking
Hmm.
through, like, what is my story? What does this look like? So, and my story may be a little different from lots of people's stories. I don't know. My parents, not just my parents, my family from Eastern Kentucky is a real different lifestyle when it comes to food. There's a lot of Southern cooking, lots of, just things, lots of diabetes and hypertension and high cholesterol and those sort of things. So
Yeah.
my journey actually started when I was in nursing school. I was 19 years old and I decided I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be the typical person that you think you'd see. I don't want to carry some of the genes that have been passed down to me. So I joined a gym when I was 20. And that's been a long time ago. And just tried to figure it out on my own. I really didn't have a lot of struggles back then. Um, and I just thought I was going to be in control of it. Well, fast forward 15 years and a couple kids later, I lost a little bit of the control. So my hormones started maybe misbehaving. My thyroid tanked out on me. And after my last pregnancy, I started like feeling puffy and gaining weight, and I didn't understand it. So when they actually told me I had Hashimoto's, I was excited. I was like, "Oh, good. At least there's an answer. Give me a pill. Let
Right.
me fix this."
Right.
But then I got the pills and nothing changed. I was like, "What is going on?" And I'd always been working out and trying to eat good for the most part, but I'd also fallen trap to low carb eating, intermittent fasting. I'm
Yeah.
reading the wisdom book right now. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
where was this book 10 years ago? I
Right. I
need
know.
this.
They were trying.
I know. So I thought I was doing all the right things, but I wasn't. And
Mm,
my body kind of threw in the towel and was like, come on. So anyway, I kind of dealt with that. I kind of had accepted it really. I was aging, I was 37 at the time, and I was like, I guess this is just what happens. I'll
mm,
continue to work out, I'll continue to try to do whatever I'm doing. But if this is what I'm going to feel like, I'll just accept it and do the best I can. So, my girlfriend was doing my hair. This was in 2016, and I was feeling puffy, and my rings didn't fit, and I was
yeah.
shopping for all the things that would hide all the things to wear, And
Yeah.
she was doing my hair, and she said, "Oh, I'm doing Trim Healthy Mama." And I'm like, "What is that?" And she's like, "It's this book and it's this." And then she lost me because I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a lot. I don't know. I think I'll just rather fast." So
Oh.
anyway, I met up with a functional medicine doctor in 2018. I'd gotten a little bit desperate and
Hmm.
just did not feel good. I met up with that provider and they were great. They were expensive. It really wasn't in my budget.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I think I did a care credit to do the 6-month
Right.
program or
I hear you.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did that, and within 6 months, I lost like 20 pounds that I never
Mm.
thought I would. I mean, I would have had
Yeah.
to amputate a limb to lose 10
Right.
pounds.
Right.
So I was feeling better. I was taking like 9 supplements a day. I was mixing powders and drinking bitter stuff, and I was doing all the voodoo. I was ready. Um, and I lost like 15 pounds, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. But I thought, okay, I've got this now. I'll do this on my own. It was very restrictive as well. So
Yeah.
they tested all my allergies. And I'll never forget that visit where I went in and I was so worried I was going to be allergic to coffee. I was so worried. And she's like, okay, are
Coffee
you
is
ready?
life.
Life. She's like, are you ready for this? I'm like, am I allergic to coffee? She's like, no, you're not, but sit down. I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
So, and the allergy testing is a little bit, it's a little gray because it's not a
Yeah.
true allergy,
Yeah.
but my allergies came back to dairy, pork, beef, kiwi, gluten, corn. I mean, it was like everything. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'll never forget. It was right at Thanksgiving. So on
Oh no.
Thanksgiving, I was like, what? I can't eat anything. But
Right.
anyway, fast forward, I did the restrictive. I was gluten free. I was dairy free. I was fasting. I did all the supplements and I had some success. Again, this was 7 years ago. So I was a little bit younger,
Yeah.
and things were still working a little bit.
Yeah.
But I stopped and thought I had it under control. And then the weight came back with like, maybe 5 more pounds. And then COVID hit. So then it was like, well, this world's falling apart anyway. So I kind of just stayed steady and tried to do what I was trying to do. The before pictures I sent you, in those pictures, I was working out 5 days a week.
Wow.
I was fasting. I was dairy free. I was gluten free. I was doing everything I thought I was should do.
Right.
Um, and I was stuck. Like that chapter one, I was the S word. I was
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah.
And nothing was changing. So that's kind of that. And circle back around with that same friend. And she's a coach and we
Yeah.
go to
You can
church
talk about it.
together.
That's fine. You can
Yeah.
talk about it. Yeah.
So we were at a baby shower and this was like 2 summers ago. And I felt okay, but I still was inflamed and I wasn't where I wanted to be at all, but I was trying. So I felt like as long as I was trying, at least I hadn't given up yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she started talking about Trim Healthy Mama. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what have I got to lose? I have done everything there is. I'm going to try to figure this out. So she helped get me started. She was getting ready to have a baby and stuff like that. So she did like this like month little thing or 6 week thing with me and another friend to teach us the fundamentals and get us started in it. And I was overwhelmed. I
Yeah.
remember I had
It's a lot.
kitchen fatigue. I was like this, I was mad and they're cooking. And I was like, what is going I've got to figure this out. So I just stuck with it. And I learned the principles. I applied them to my life and I did feel better, but I still really wasn't getting exactly where I wanted to be. So I went back to functional medicine with Trim Healthy Mom on board and started hormone replacement therapy. And
Yeah.
that was between, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, but
I
I
know.
say I have to have Trim Healthy Mama and I have to have hormones because
Yes.
my body was desperately needing them. And that's kind of where I am. That's kind of my story. So for the past, it'll be 2 years in June. June will be my trim anniversary that I've been doing this, and it's a never ending process.
Right. There's
For
no finish
us,
line.
there's
There's no
no
finish
finish
line.
line, and there's still speed bumps that I hit or times that I'm still need to tweak and adjust. But that's kind of where I am. I will say that Trim Healthy Mama, it did way more for me than just get rid of weight or
Mhm.
inflammation. I mean, that's great. Obviously, that's a lot of the times I feel like as women, that's what everybody wants. I just want to
That's
lose
right.
weight. I just want to
That's
lose
right.
weight. But for me, I didn't realize I was a proclaimed non-dieter. Like I never dieted. I told
Yeah.
everyone I don't diet. That's,
Yeah.
I don't use the D word or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had a real dysfunctional relationship with food that I
Mm,
didn't realize. Food I used to allow it to like steal my joy,
yeah.
and now it heals me. And it's so
Oh, that's
cool.
so good. That's
It's
so good.
so cool because if it's on plan, I like it. Like, and my husband's doing it with me. My
Hmm.
family's on board. For the most part, my kids aren't like 100% on plan, but I'd say they're 70%,
Yeah,
80% on plan because they eat what I eat or they don't eat.
that's right.
So,
That's right.
but it's done way more than just, it's way more than just food or weight loss to me. It's really the biblical principles of it all come together, and they make it really a healthy relationship with food, how it
That's
should
right.
be.
That's right.
It's not restrictive. I mean, unless you want to eat junk, yeah, you're restricted from junk, but junk
Hmm.
doesn't make me feel good. So,
No,
you
I just
know,
recorded a podcast last night. It'll air before yours, but she talked about how the my little saying it may be permissible, but it's not beneficial. How that's helped her so much because there are people that wah about they can't have junk, but the
mhm,
junk is not even permissible.
yeah.
But then we do have to go that step further, like you had to do. Are you still gluten free and dairy free?
I am gluten free for the most part, and I'm dairy light. I've
Dairy light.
actually realized that my body, with the hormones on board, my body does okay with cottage cheese and
Yeah,
Greek yogurts and things
yeah,
like that. It doesn't really bother. I
mine
don't
too.
do cheese necessarily. I still try to avoid like shredded cheese and those sort of things. But for the most part,
Yeah,
I'm dairy light, I guess you could
yeah,
say.
good. So I mean, you're doing that same thing. You're finding what's beneficial for you and working towards that. And you know how I feel about perfection, but we do our best. We do our best
Yeah.
every day. And I mean, you've got 2 years under your belt, going on three.
Yeah. No, going on two. It'll be two
Going
in
on 2.
June.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So
Yeah.
going on 2 years, I mean, and that's what I think that whole what we just said about there's no finish line. It's just we're always doing it. I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years. And people kind of I talked to a lady this morning that I'd never talked to before. And she was like, I don't really know a lot about you. So I was telling her, and she was like, wait a minute, you've been doing this for 8 years? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. I said, there was a minute where I stopped because I was overwhelmed, just like you with the kitchen fatigue. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then my husband was like, "Girl, what the heck are you doing? Why are you not still like what's going on?" And so I got back into it, but I approached it so much differently, doing things much simpler. As you now know, that's how I do coaching, teaching you guys to be as simple as possible. Although some people might think what I do is difficult. It's different for everybody. But you have to make it work for you. You have to
Yeah.
figure it out. And that's not saying, well, I'm going to eat the burger and fries because it's easier. No, no, that's not what I mean.
Yeah.
But still make it work for you. I love you're not a short order cook. And I love that y'all have done this together, you and your husband, who I got to
Hmm.
meet too
Yeah.
the other day. And then your son, like, oh my gosh, his before and after are still going. Of course, he's, maturing, so that changes
Hmm.
their bodies for young men. But that was crazy, his change. That's amazing.
And when he did it kind of incognito because I was doing it. And then Eric had some labs come back with like an elevated A1C. So he's like, okay, let me tell me about this. So my husband kind of got on board. And then
Hmm.
Ryan was just on his own, cutting out sugar and trying to get protein in, and has had great results.
Yeah, for sure. I would say
Yeah.
so. That
Yeah.
was amazing. That was
Yeah.
amazing. So how'd you find me?
So, Facebook,
I love Facebooks.
my girlfriend, because we were trying to figure out Trim Healthy Mom together, and she called me. She said, "Oh, there's a coach on here. She is so cute. You got to go watch her. She does something called a grocery haul." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's that?" So, I watched that, and I watched those, and if they would come up, I'd be like, "Oh, I got to watch this."
Yeah.
But I still didn't have it all figured out. and I still was a little intimidated by the kitchen process for probably honestly a year. When my
Wow.
husband got on board, it made it easier because I wanted to make
Yes.
food that he was gonna like.
Right.
And so I was ready to, I mean, I can eat a can of chicken and
Right.
some cucumbers and I'm fine, but I wanted
Okay.
him to be like, man, this is good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that happened. And then you put something up about buds.
Hmm.
Oh, and one of the things that you said that has stuck with me like forever is you were talking about going out to eat
Hmm.
or doing something, and you said, "Oh, yep, that's fine. I don't eat sugar." You told that to
Yeah.
somebody like
I
out,
did.
and I
Yeah.
was
A
like,
waiter.
I think I can say that. So the first time I did it, like you weren't my coach yet or anything, and we were
Uh-huh.
out to eat, and I was like, "Does this have sugar in it?" And the girl's like, "Yeah, the sauce." Blah blah. I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna get that. I don't eat sugar." And I was like, nobody cared. It wasn't that big of a deal. I
No.
just said it.
They were like, oh, okay.
Okay, that's fine. So, so you were doing buds, and I was like, I think that I could learn more from her because I felt like I was just getting an itsy bitsy piece of what you offered
Mm-hmm.
free, but I felt like there was so much more. And you would say things like, "My live in the kitchen,"
Yeah.
and I was like, I want to get in that kitchen.
I see those. Do you
I
still
need
watch them?
they're on my calendar. They're in my digital calendar. I know when they're coming on. Now I
Holly.
can't I can't watch them
I'm sorry, next
live.
week there's not going to be one, but you can watch a replay from last year if you
Girl,
have
I'll go back to 2023. I'll watch one. I'll be
to.
fine. But I can't watch them live because I'm at work, but I'll
Right,
watch
right.
the replays
Yeah.
most of the time. But I think that so I did the buds, and then it was like you could join Blooms. And I was like, I think I need to stay maybe at least 90 days. I'll do this for
Mhm.
90 days because I wanted to get more as much as I could out of it. And
Yeah.
it has taken my Trim Healthy Mama like, like
Wow. Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
It's
Wow.
so good. Like the lives in the kitchen, the Monday nights, and just having all those resources in Mighty Networks. It took me a minute to figure out Mighty
I know.
Networks.
I know.
Um, but now that I
Thanks for hanging
know,
in there.
oh, yes. I was trying to make that taco bake on
Mhm.
Sunday, and I was like, "Wait a second. I'm gonna go Mighty Networks and I can search for it. That's
Yep.
how I'm gonna find it." So,
That's right.
I'm figuring it out.
Good
By
job.
my 2-year trim anniversary, I'll have it all figured out.
You will. You will.
Um, but yeah,
I love
that's my
that.
story, and that's how I found you, and you have helped me so much, keeping it fun and making it easy. So
Yeah.
that's what it
Thank
is. That's what it's
you.
all about.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So whenever you're talking about wisdom and you're reading Trim Healthy Wisdom, and you might have heard my Marco from this morning. One of the blooms, I have a Marco Polo Sharecast for those who don't know, for my blooms. I also have a free one called the Southern Scoop. We can get you that link if you need it. But in blooms, I was answering a question. So my blooms can pop a question in there and I'll answer it as soon as I can, and she was like, I'm overwhelmed. There's all these things, and then my people, and then my life, and then my job, and then my THM, and I haven't watched the lives, and then we got this book, and all these people are talking about doing all these things in the Wizzy way, and it's a blah, 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 blah. She was just like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, she's spiraling. And I've always tried to be very mindful to approach new things like that whole optimized protein thing. I mean, they've been talking about that, I don't know, a year, 18 months. It took me 10 months, maybe a year to be like, okay,
Mhm.
I'll give it a whirl. I trust them 100%. I mean, if they told me that hopping up and down on one leg would help, I would do it eventually,
Yeah.
you know, but it just takes me a second to figure out how I can implement their tweaks, information, tips, or whatever, Sweet and Pearl, into my life. So I don't like hop on the bandwagon most of the time. Of course I have, I'm sure, at some point. But the optimized protein, like changing all that, like that was a big change for me, because I'd gone 8 years doing it the foundational way. And now we have this new information. And I think it is incredible. I keep looking over here because my book's right there. So I know you've gotten some chapters in, and I know we've talked about it. But what would you say for now? Maybe are your top two takeaways, or like maybe even an aha moment that was super helpful for you when it comes to this book. Um, that meant a lot to you. Because I mean, this thing, I said this too in the Marco Polo. This took them 3 to 5 years to write.
Yeah.
Why are we putting the burden on ourselves to get it now?
Yeah.
Give yourself some time, maybe a year, maybe 3 years. It's okay. Because remember, we talk about that 1% progress every day, 1% change every day.
Hmm.
That's just a little bit. You don't have to, because
Hmm.
I'd get burned out, stressed out. I got enough going on. you know,
Yeah.
that's not
Oh,
gonna help.
yeah.
So, what would you say were your top twos, takeaway, or aha moment so far
Well,
in the book?
so when I started the book, we were on our way to Tennessee in the car
Hmm.
and I started reading it. And that first chapter, I didn't know anything about the fat cells getting stiffened and changing over time. I'm almost 50. I'm knocking on the door there. And I have lots of friends, they've seen that I feel better and they are like, I mean, I want to try this, but it's just not as easy as it used to be. And I'm like, yeah, but we're getting older and our metabolism. And even I'm a nurse, so I understand some of the science part. But that was an aha moment for me, knowing that weight loss actually doesn't serve our body well if we do it up and down and up and down, and what it
True.
does to our cells over time. So I'm a nerd and I loved that because I've got a friend that I'm like, oh my gosh, we were talking about it. But
Yeah.
that was an aha moment for me about the stuck part, especially with lots of people around me that are in the same season of life as me, to know it's normal and it's not our fault that we've made the mistakes we've made over the years.
Sure.
We
You don't
kind
know,
of
you don't
followed,
know.
yeah, and we kind of followed society's guidance on a lot of things. So there's a way to get around that. And the other aha moment, I was really, oh my gosh, there's so many good things in there. I would say protein. So I'm a protein nerd. I really do feel like I am. And even you help give us good guidelines and stuff. And even the veggies, okay? Hear me out here. I knew I needed the protein to help my muscles. And I knew I needed the veggies. And I've been trying to do better at that. And you said, they kind of scrub them clean. So I had an aha moment when I was reading it, like in text. I was like, okay, wait a second. My muscles without the proper veggies probably look like a fatty ribeye, like just lots of
Correct. They're
streaks and all
marble.
that in
That's
them.
right.
And if I really do better with my peppers and my cucumbers and squash and zucchini, it'll clean that out, and I will be a filet mignon muscle. And
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
that's
Yes.
and that hit
Oh,
me in the car. I was like, okay, okay.
hey, I
So
know. Isn't that
now
good?
I'm like, because before I knew I needed to do it, but I didn't know the why. So I wasn't as intentional.
Yeah.
Because I'm real good at protein, but actually I feel like maybe there's times I've been doing a little too much protein
Mm-hmm.
in one serving. So the book helped me with that. But I
Yeah.
mean that book, I can't put it down. I mean, I'm not reading it right now because I'm at work, but
Sure.
I'm loving it. So
That's awesome. You
yeah.
did great. A plus. You
Thank
did great.
you. Thank you.
We're going camping tomorrow, and my plan is to get. I'm gonna focus on the chapters that we'll be doing in and blooms. That I've got scheduled with you guys, but I'm really excited to get into this, and it's just an exciting moment, and I just want everybody to hear me super well. Again, like if you don't want to look at the book, that's fine. But if you have it and you're desiring to read it, just take some of the pressure off yourself because it's just like the all or nothing, all in thing that I've been talking about. Like, I think it is great to have the want to do better. But if we overwhelm ourselves with too many tasks or too many goals or too many changes, you're probably going to crash and burn unless you're like, a superhero that we don't know about yet. Because it's just impossible to do all of that, especially changing a lot. Because life is gonna life real hard probably, and
Mhm.
you're gonna just stop. And that the fluctuation of weight, like drastic loss, drastic gain. I'm not because our weight does fluctuate, but man,
Yeah.
if you can make some little changes, over time, you're going to see so much progress. That's just mainly the thing that I would like to share with everybody today and what you've done.
Mhm.
You've just kept chipping away at it. So tell us what your non-scale victory is with where you started to where you are now. Or you can do scale, whatever it is you want to share.
Um, my non-scale victory would be that I really do feel like I have the fundamentals figured out. I can go anywhere and I can do I'm planning
Yeah.
what I'm going to eat ahead of time, and I'm ready for whatever. Even if it's during the week and stuff, I'm meal prepping and planning and things like that. But that has changed my life
Mm,
because 6 years ago I was in the kitchen frustrated
yeah.
and I wasn't planning anything. I mean, I remember even going to the grocery and just buying items, but I didn't even know what I was going to make with them.
Yeah. 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 Just
I'd be
getting
like,
stuff.
well, we've got chicken. What are we going to do with the chicken? But
Yeah.
now I'm like, I've got all the things for these recipes. And even when we're out and about, just grabbing things and to go in the car, it's really helpful to feel like I have control over it and
Yeah.
it doesn't really have control over me.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's so good. I love to see when people, that's food freedom and
Mhm.
right there in the flesh to me because I mean, I won't say that I don't fall prey to temptation sometimes, but I mean, a very large percentage of my life now, it's I'm in control of the food, and there's a lot of times I will say, I don't know if you feel like this. There are some times where I'm literally just fueling. It's not for the enjoyment of the food, and I can go on about my life just fine. It's not that big a
Mhm.
deal. But for a lot of people, that's a really big mindset shift. That's a really hard pill to swallow, so to speak, because our culture has kind of taught us that food is there for our enjoyment, and it is, but it should not be in control over us. That's good.
For sure. Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. So, what would you say is one of y'all's favorite recipes?
Um, well, I may be burning them out on it, but we like cowboy grub
Yeah.
and all the shapes and fashions. And I've always been a protein on the grill girl with some veggies and some
Mm-hmm.
potatoes. So
Yep.
that's been good. I guess, my love for potatoes has come back alive. I did low carb for so long.
I bet. I bet
I
it's
was
amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't eating. I love oatmeal. I love quinoa. I love all of the carbs. I'm actually eating more carbs now than I
Yeah.
was in my
Go,
before
girl.
pictures. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that right there, that's another testament to what they're teaching us. It's legit.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
legit. But you're doing it the right way with the protein and the veggie and the little fat, and
Yeah.
that's good. That's some good
Yeah.
stuff. That's some
Yeah.
good stuff. Well, Polly, you did it.
I
30
did it.
minutes with me. Good
Oh,
job.
well, thank you.
Oh my gosh, so good. We're gonna wrap up. Is there anything else you want to share?
Um, I would just say, regardless of where we are in our life as women, we all just want to feel good. It doesn't matter if we want to lose 100 pounds or 50 pounds or 20 pounds. We all are trying to achieve the same thing and really dialing in and fixing some broken relationships we have with food and
For
things like
sure.
that. Trim Healthy Mama really does give you freedom. And I love it. It's been great. And I appreciate you so much. I thank you for
Mm,
helping me learn more and just fine tune the whole process.
you're so welcome. I
Yeah.
love you. You're so fun.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you.
I like your blanket back there. So
I know
cute.
I put it on my ugly black chair because I wanted it to look cute. Because it's just my ugly black chair.
You did great. You did great. I love it so much. All
Oh,
right, girl. Well, I know they're going to love seeing your pictures. It's an amazing testament to what taking care of yourself will do for you, and not stopping, like just keeping the momentum and staying on track. It's really,
yes.
really
And I will say, last thing,
yep.
Trim Healthy Mama helped me go from a size 12 to a size 4.
And she is.
It's crazy.
She
I
a
never
tiny
thought it'd
little thing.
happen. Especially, I'm almost 50. So come on now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, can't believe that. You don't look 50. You don't act it either.
No, well, I'll be 48, so
I
I'm
don't
not
care.
50
Close
yet.
enough. You
Close.
still don't look like it.
You don't either.
Thanks.
All right. Well,
Polly,
thank
you want to tell
you.
them bye?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.